doing this. I'm going to click on this thing here. This thing. Where is it? Where did it go? There it is. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Click. Well, so first of all, happy birthday, Freddie. It's his birthday today. And we had snow yesterday. So I was thinking of it as kind of the icing sugar on a donut sort of day for people who are celebrating birthdays, as opposed to the full-on icing with the sprinkles and the cherries and the candles and whatnot. Sort of a light dusting, just enough to get everything a bit icky. But you know what? It's gone today, and we're going to have some warmer temperatures. So there we go. So the conversation today that I really want to talk about, is I bumped into some people the last few days who have a quality that I don't possess. They are so laid back, they're almost staring up at the sky. And I can't for the life of me, or at least I couldn't for a very long time, I couldn't for the life of me figure out how the hell they even got here. I'm picturing life in grimmer times when, we had this cave and we were inside and there were saber-toothed whatnots out there. And if you sent out one of those feckless wonders, you'd never see him again. Or he'd just walk through the melee like it wasn't going on and come back with stuff and say, what's the big deal? Because the swirl would be going on around him and he wouldn't even know, or she, or they, whoever. And for the longest time, it really confused me, because clearly I do not belong to that group. Clearly, I'm the part of the berserkers at the front of the boat group, and I want to see what's next, because what's next is what's now in about 2 seconds, and I'm keen. I don't want to miss anything, and I've told my story a million times, I think, about being in a just about nearly almost car wreck when I was in my teens. And before that, I remember I went swimming once and I dove into a pool and I didn't realize how shallow it was. And I cracked my head, top of my head, on the bottom of the pool, bonk. And I came up and I said, wow. And everybody was looking quite horrified because apparently you could hear it. It's like a subsonic boom. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Why? And so it became kind of a joke that as long as she only hits her head, she's fine. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself that, of course, it takes all different kinds to make the soup, to make the stew, to make the thread of the tapestry that is all of us. And of course, we can't all have keeners bouncing. And of course, we can't all have meticulous bean counters counting. We need to have a little bit of everything in order for it to work. And a very, very wise woman who became a good friend of mine, Patricia O'Reilly, talked to me once about a phenomenon called the one-legged table. And it's a very interesting take on psychology. And the longer you look at it, the more you realize it's true. And I know there's a bit of a diverge, but it's interesting. People who do the hiring, people who do the choosing, tend to choose people like themselves, unless they're aware that what they bring to the table has its limitations. So, if a small business that became large, good morning, Freddie, birthday boy, good morning. I'm doing so wonderful coming back from Canada and seeing you. Oh, Charles, thank you. Thank you. How's the new job? And Freddie, oh my goodness. It's a big day. It's a big day. You've made it through the first year of a new decade. Good for you. You've only got 9 more to go. And Chris, thank you for your acting. Oh, you grew up watching me in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. And for whatever you do, Chris, don't tell me you're 106. I'll just have to come and, So anyway, back to this one-legged table thing. It's very, very interesting, and it's a cool thing to know. We tend to like people who remind us of us. We don't we're not fond of people who imitate us. The last thing I really need to see at a big event is somebody who shows up with brand new red hair and a feather boa. Like there's no need for that, really. However, if we enjoy somebody who has a quick wit, if I meet somebody with a quick wit, I love that about them, and I kind of forgive all kinds of other things. Why? Because a quick wit for me is a great time. It's lots of fun. And so if you're hiring, and you started out with your business with because you were a great salesman, or because you were you're really innovative, or really driven, or always looking up ahead, you would tend to want more like that around you. The thing is that you don't want somebody who looks up ahead doing your books, or organizing your admin, or making sure that the products are all done according to spec and getting out on time. You want a different and diverging group of people. And what Patricia O'Reilly referred to this as, in picking people just like us, is we end up with something called a one-legged table. And if you think about a one-legged table, and I'm not talking about the table that has the one with the podium, I'm just one-legged. If you put any weight on it, it would fall over. In fact, you'd be lucky if it stood at all, unless, fairly solid base. And so what we all need in order for this to work is a really good mix. And, am I really good at detail? Yeah. Am I really good at detail when the show is on? Yeah. Although once the show is on, I'm focused on the audience and the show. The details in the setup that I was focused on before, that's now somebody else's job. And I try to find somebody who is keen to do that specifically, and not angling for the opportunity when, they're going to be center stage. I want them to do what they are excellent at, so that we are excellent together. And isn't that great, Charles? One-legged table. It's brilliant. And and not mine. It's just mine to share. And so when I see people who just don't seem to have any oomph, and it's not that they're depressed. I'm talking about the, hey, the easygoing, affable, laid back. Yeah, hey, what are we all doing? All right, yeah, sure, I'm in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't originate. They don't initiate. They go along, and they have a good time, and they're not hungry for more. They're good with what they got. And sometimes I would look at them and think, I wonder what that's like. I can't imagine it. I'm too busy. Too busy, period. I was going to try and qualify too busy at what, but it doesn't matter. And I thought there's something that doesn't make any sense about that. And we're all in the business of learning who other people are, so that we can create the best relationships with them, no matter what we do, whether it's personal, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's the guy at city council, whether you're on a job where you're dealing with the public, whether you're the numbers cruncher and you have to answer to the board of directors. We need to know who we're dealing with and why they're here. What brought them here? What's their motivation? What makes them get up in the morning? Because if we don't know that, every day is a guess. If we can see the pattern, if we can see what triggers them positively and negatively, then we can accommodate that and make it work for us. And I don't mean if we see their triggers and then we can just, push the triggers all the time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about benefiting, making sure everybody gets their best chance to be their best version of them, right? Somebody who I met years ago who was a bit of a button pusher, I finally got fed up because this guy really liked doing it. He thought it was really funny. Yeah, I can really push your buttons. I really got him. And I said, um, they teach simple animals to push buttons. The trick isn't teaching them to push. It's teaching them to resist the temptation, to goad somebody. It's teaching them to say, what if I don't push? What if I lean in and help them pull? That is the ticket, son. And that was, pretty much the end of our conversation. And he, ha, 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 and walked away. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding what works for them. What is their drive? What is their appetite? What is their superpower? And I made this form when I was doing Fanaticon this year. It suddenly occurred to me that I needed to do this because I need interns to work on my new projects with me, right? So this is a form, and it said, "Welcome to Abbey World," and I asked them to tell me what they were interested in. I asked them to tell me how we met, and then I asked them to tell me what their superpower was, because everybody has one. So in going away with this, and then giving me their email address, what this is a really, really super simple intake form, right? I know a little bit about you, then we can have a conversation. And the reason to do that, for me, in any case, is that I don't know how long I have. And I don't mean I have something looming. I mean, I don't know how long I have to do this. I don't know how long I have to do the next thing. I don't know how long I have before there's a great big snowstorm, and I'm not going out today after all. So those things are canceled that I was looking forward to. So I want to know what I'm working with, and I want to know who I'm working with and why they're here. So, in leading up to this whole laid back thing, many hands lighten the load. Yes, they do, Freddie. Yes, they do. As long as the many hands have the faintest idea what they're doing. Very important. We want skilled hands. We don't want random hands. There's a time and a place for jazz hands, and then not so much. So the thing that hit me one day was this, and I have not so far been proven wrong. So it's an interesting thing to consider, especially if you're in a business where you are profiling people, where you may be applying for a job, where you're wondering why people in one store are all grumpy and people in another store are all positive and cheerful. And you want to figure out why so that it doesn't puzzle you all day. And here it is. I think that people who appear to be easygoing, easy, laid back, casual, hey, whatever, I think we just haven't stumbled on the thing that they're passionate about yet. Everyone has a passion. Do you know how I know that? Because if they didn't, if they truly came from Laid-Backistan, they wouldn't have survived the eons. They wouldn't have had the impetus to run like everything when a saber-toothed whatnot was chasing them. They wouldn't have had the determination to keep rowing when they had blisters on their hands and they were only halfway across the ocean. They wouldn't have had the need and the passion to find out what's over there. They wouldn't have had the desire to prove to themselves and to everyone else they care about, yeah, I did it once. Want to see me do it again? Until we find that, we don't really know who they are. If all we do is look at them from a distance, and you know that thing about You can't tell a book by its cover. If the person appears to be easygoing, it doesn't mean they don't care. It means we haven't figured out what they do care about. And now it's fascinating. Because what they have done that I think is brilliant, and I mean this deeply, is that they have learned to let go of a very big need for people to be controlled or controlling. Have you noticed that? People either want to be victims or they want to be in charge of everything. When I talk to clients who are struggling, who are caught up in something, and they can't let it go, and it's getting in the way of their forward motion, and I say, listen, that thing, that's not yours to own. The answer is, I know, but no. If it's not yours to own, then the energy you're investing over there, you are robbing from what you need to be doing over here. If this is you, what the hell is that? Well, I'm just saying. I mean, if they would just do it this way, they're not going to do it this way unless they have a reason, unless they're given a reason, unless they're willing to see a reason, which means a conversation, which means getting to know them in order to understand what they want to bring. I have a story. My dear sweet friend Dave was a Virgo, and Virgos tend to be a bit on the, if everyone would just do it my way, the world would be a better place. It's kind of a quality. I'm trying not to generalize, but. And when I said, if you don't care, because he would say, I don't care, it's just that. And I would say, if you don't care, then there shouldn't be, it's just that. So you do care. The thing is, we only have 24 hours in a day, and we're going to be asleep for some of them. So we got to pick our battles. We have to choose the things to care about that we can impact, that we can change, that we can elevate, that we can transform. And the rest, we have to let it go. Well, what if it all goes to hell? We can't fix everything. I have a friend, a very dear friend, and if she's watching, she's going to go, oh my God, who keeps trying to rescue people. And I say, there's millions, there's billions of people out there who need to be rescued. Why are you focused on those 6? How about you rescue you? And then when there's time left over, rescue them. Oh, I'm just saying. I know. So the laid back person, if they are laid back, keep breaking things down so that we can understand them. Oh, thanks, Freddie. You of all people. My good friend Freddie is a genius. I mean, you know those you take the tests on the numbers? Yeah, he's up there. If we have an opportunity to do some greater good in the world that is outside our little circle of stuff we need to do, brilliant. I have an incredible mentor friend who has done extremely well in her business, and she and her husband made the decision that they would give back, they would pay it forward, they would do whatever the language is today, they would do what they could to make certain things better for others who have not yet reached the place where they can take care of everything, and it's lovely to see. Posts a picture, they're at some event, and you say to yourself, what a wonderful decision to go and do that. Awesome. Some of these galas that the men I know don't want to go to, they would rather just phone it in and send a check with their wife to go to the event all dolled up. But the thing is, You're the guy, you got to go. And good for you. Good for you, though, that you see the need. There are organizations, there are groups, there are people, there are services that don't just fall out of trees. They have to be created, and there has to be money to make that happen. And that's amazing. That is wanting to have some semblance of control on the overall outcome. That is doing your part to mend your section of the umbrella if there's a tear in it. That is your decision to beautify the neighborhood if everybody's mowing their lawn and you mow yours. That is leaning in to be part of something. That's not control. Um, that is driving an outcome. That becomes a passion. That becomes a kind of easygoing, laid back. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, sure, I'm in. That's a great kind of laid back. The other kind that doesn't care, and this is the part of the conversation along with the other stuff. This is the part of the conversation I wanted to have today, because we are all dealing with the public in some way. And when we go to a store, when we're in traffic, we're in a lineup to get fuel, to get charged for our cars, to go shopping, to go to a show. If people aren't present here and they lag behind and now there's a traffic jam, if they're not paying attention, if they're trying to multitask and they're trying to illegally work on their phones and pretend that they're not, meanwhile the traffic is moving ahead, um, we are not able to tell them how to drive, how to live. We can kind of, are you okay, in order that people get to where they need to go in a timely way. That's working together. And if somebody's not in step, instead of yelling, it's great to find out why not. And if there's something we can do, good morning, Alex. Investing time in helping others reaps rewards that might not even be understood until much later. Think of mentoring or paying it forward as an investment in the future. Alex, exactly, exactly. The idea that we don't have to be the one at the front of the boat. We do, however, need to earn our right to have a seat on the boat. It's not a cruise. Even on a cruise, there are certain rules, there are certain obligations, and so that it's nice for everyone. And if we can't see why a person doesn't care, if we can't understand what happened and why they're suddenly, or seems to be suddenly, just phoning it in, something has changed, something has shifted, something has been set aside. And the question is, do we try to help? Is there a way that we can find that makes helping them help us? If they don't seem to be okay, do we just turn our head? I was about to say, or do we step in? And I just suddenly remembered, oof, I was dating this fellow when I lived in Brooklyn, and he had a hard time. He'd been in the military. He'd been in the war, and he he kept having trouble finding jobs. And he got a job working at a prison. And I said, really? Is there nothing else? And he said, well, I'll give it a try. Anyway, he called and said, I can't come for dinner tonight. Why not? He said, I just can't come. And I said, come anyway. So he came. He walked in, and his whole face was black and blue. And I said, what the hell happened to you? And he said, two inmates were fighting, so I stepped in. Well, yes, you did bring them together for a common cause. Can I get you some ice for that? So there are always cautionary tales that we wish to help, that we wish to be part of something, that we wish to say, hey, come on, everybody, my uncle's got a barn, let's put on a show. There are people for whom that is not the best idea. Dave would come and help me do shows. And God bless him, God bless him, he loathed every minute of it, actively. He would organize the stuff, get it in the vehicle, hand me the keys, or he'd come, he'd help people set it up, and then he'd go and sit over there. Hate it. Why? He wasn't that fond of people in large groups. What's a large group, Abby? Two. Bless his heart. I have these other friends who have, over the years, helped me move almost every time, like for years and years. It finally got to the point where one of them said, "Is that Abby? If she's moving, we left town. Tell her." You see, I can remove the laid back in almost anybody. Just give me a minute, because I want people to feel that they're getting the best outcome for their input. I want people to say, yeah, all right, I'm exhausted, but yeah. My friend Timothy Walker persists in climbing tall, crazy things. Maris Senecal, same thing, tall, crazy things, wearing out the feet on her pets who walk with her, and having to have surgery on her feet, and but they love it. Extreme sports. Hey, you want to go skiing for about 7 years? No. When you're done, call me. I'll meet you at the bar. I'm not doing that. So am I laid back? No, I just don't want to do that. And this is what I'm saying. Today, every day, forever, since the beginning of time, it is of a benefit to us to find out what makes other people tick. It is of a benefit to us to find out where their superpower is. It is of a benefit to us to recognize what they bring and celebrate it with them, not for them, celebrate it with them and encourage them to lean into it. And so for those of us who are in a position of teaching or mentoring or shaping the minds of the future, or working in teams to create something and complete something, somebody who has a bunch of people under their elevated position, and they have to learn how to delegate authority to the people who have the best ability to complete the task. All of this is predicated on having a good idea what makes them tick. Because if they didn't care, they'd have never made it. So when we see them and we think, what's going on there? There has to be something. There has to be something. Not that we're going to set our whole day aside to try and figure it out, but observing behavior gives you an opportunity to see a pattern. And if you say to yourself, I wonder if it's this, and you can ask if you like, usually people aren't aware, but if you give them a task and you see them succeed at it, you say to yourself, look at that, there it is right there. All right then. I know what it is they already want to do. Let's give them more of it, and let's reward them when they do it. My friend Freddie, who many years ago now, my gosh, Freddie, many years ago, decided he wanted to come to the SlimeCon reunions in Canada. So he has a couple of issues he deals with. Okay, how do I get around them? What do I do? And he organized himself. He connected with the right people. He bought a train ticket. He got a hotel room, and he made his way from where he is in the US up to Ottawa, and he was there. And I think you came twice. Isn't that right, Freddie? And so people were saying, oh my God, you came back. Do you drive? No. Huh, how'd you do it? Did you fly? No. How'd you do it? Came by train. Really? Yep. And he came and he sat there and he got to meet everybody. He got to do the thing that meant the world to him. Why? Because he made it his priority. He might look laid back. He might look quiet. But that was something that mattered to him. Wow. Is that an exercise in pivotry and motion? Absolutely it is. That's why I talked to Freddie. I talked to his buddy Chris for the book. And Freddie periodically says, are we doing another interview? Yeah, we'll be doing a follow-up fairly soon. And I'm sorry, by the way, a little off topic. This is another thing, though. Maybe it isn't actually off topic. When we know someone and we know what it is that makes them tick, and all of a sudden they seem to be driven to do something else, and you wonder, well, did they give that up? It's really important to understand why they may have set something they're passionate about to the side. Is it forever? No. Is it something else? Yeah, always is. Is there something I can help with? No, you just did. Thank you for asking. I'm getting there. I'll be there. It's just taking a little longer. And these are the questions we need to ask ourselves, and we need to ask others, so that, as you said, many hands lighten the load. If everyone feels that with one hand they can pat somebody on the back, so that person says, here, let me help you with that. I'm a teacher of classes never taught. You went to the slam class by bus. Oh my gosh, Freddie. I had no idea. Oh my gosh. I have a story to tell you sometime about going by bus to crazy places. Oh my gosh. How cool. Even cooler than a train. Wow. All right. We're definitely going to have a conversation about that. You are a teacher of classes never taught. I like that. Can I use it? I'm going to write it down. I'm a teacher of classes never taught because apparently I was away that day. Apparently I was sick that day. So I have another story to tell you that was so priceless. It jolted me out of my kind of just standing there staring at the scenery. Picture this. Picture this. It's 0 degrees. What is it? Oh, no, it's +3. Oh, it was a really hot day in July or August a few years ago. And where I was living, there's a really, really great smoked meat place. And right across the street from it, there's a Dairy Queen. Hello. And so I went there for dinner. I went to this smoked meat place for dinner. And then tried to figure out how not to eat everything because it was wonderful, because I wanted to go across to the Dairy Queen for dessert. So anyway, we're standing in line for the Dairy Queen. And of course, it's a hot day. So there's 20 people. And there we are in line. And people are just sort of chit-chatting, but everybody's calm and nobody's, in a panic. They're going to get their ice cream. They're not going to run out. And all of a sudden, out of the quiet burble, rhubarb conversations that are murbling around us, I hear this little boy's voice. And he says, "You don't understand. I need a chocolate ice cream." And I fell over. Ladies and gentlemen, me, right there, whoever that kid. And I turned to the people I was with, and they're all shaking their heads. And somebody said, his poor parents. And somebody else said, I pity the wife. Hey. Oh, gosh. thing is this: if people are laid back, they have learned to let go of the things that they cannot control. If they have let go of things they shouldn't let go of, we need to know. We need to know if they're okay. We need to know, if we can, what the trigger was. What caused them to say, you know what, never mind, and walk away. We need to understand if that is something we can participate in the healing of, in the regenerating of, in the attaboy, you got this, in the, you know what, take a few minutes, stay in the truck, I'll take care of this one. We need to understand what level of I'm good, it's just not my thing, and I'm not good. I don't think I'm good at anything. If we can find a way to recognize the difference, then the whole circle that we live in and the other circles we visit are better places all the time, every day. We don't have to fix everybody. We don't have to change the world. We just have to lean in when someone looks like they've overdone it. We just need to check out when somebody who used to be no longer is. We need to pay attention. We need to care. We don't need to be Pollyanna. We don't need to be Mother Teresa. We don't need to be the bossy girl who has to run everything. We don't need to be that person. You never, ever, ever want to give them a clipboard and a whistle. We don't need to be that person. We certainly don't need to be that bossy person who's, I'm calling the manager. We don't need to be that. We do need to care. Because when we care, they care back. I went grocery shopping yesterday and bought some eggs. And I said, oh, do you have an elastic? And he said, you know what? I don't know why. I don't know why. I always have elastics. And for some reason, oh, wait a minute, hang on. And there was a pile of coupons he had with an elastic around them. So he took it off and put the coupons back in the door. And he said, elastic. I said, oh my God, but the coupons. He said, you know what? The coupons aren't going to break. I said, good point. So he wrapped it up and he said, there you go. And I said, that was awfully sweet of you. And he said, hey, you know, I'm a sweet guy. And so, yes, you are. Yes, you were. Did that make my day? Absolutely. When I came home, so I park inside, yay, and I load everything into a cart that I have. And I go and I push, I'm in the basement, push the thing, and the elevator opens and I get on. It only goes up 3 floors, stops. Okay, ground floor. And as the door opens, there's 3 elevators. As the door opens, I hear a voice saying, oh, okay. And then walks over. And I'm standing here and I said, hello. And he's, oh, geez, sorry about that. I said, no, it's snowing. I understand. He said, no, I was standing in front of that elevator, that other elevator. I must have stood there for 10 minutes before I realized it was on service. And so he is on. He said, so how was your day? I said, it's snowing. And he said, yeah. Everybody's a little off on the first snow day. Everybody's a little off on the first snow day. That guy just analyzed what the heck he was doing, yelling at a service elevator. By the time he got off at his floor, he was in a totally better mood. He said, thanks. Have a great night. You too. Unpacked my groceries. These are the small things. These are the really small things. When I was going to get groceries and it was snowing, somebody coming down, that stops. Woman gets on in shorts, sneakers, and a t-shirt with a bottle of water. And I said, you know, it's snowing, right? She burst out laughing. And she said, I'm going to the gym because we have a gym in the building. I said, okay, good. We're both grinning. I don't know these people. I just moved in. But we're all in that boat, in this boat together. We might as well get along. We might as well find something we have in common other than this street address, right? We must remember not to impose our wishes or life experiences. Yes, we must learn their own way. Listen, Alex, someday, son, you're going to be a teacher. Everything that we can do. I had this conversation with another friend the other day. Everything that we can do to make the people in our immediate reach feel better about their moment is a selfish act. What do you mean? She said. And I said, if everybody's in a good mood, I'm going to have a great day. She said, oh, Abby, but you're giving so much of yourself. I said, I'm not giving anything of myself that isn't there to give. What's wrong? Nothing. Oh, okay. This is your normal? Well, no. Oh, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you? 6. Oh, okay. I'll check in with you later. Maybe you'll be an 8. As Alex said, it's not mine to go in and be their unofficial therapist. It's theirs to fix. But it's mine to show a stranger that they matter, that they make a difference, that they're not just taking up space. So the start of this conversation was, yes, but why don't they care? In talking about the laid back, hey, yeah, whatever, easy going. Never, hungry enough to lead, happy enough to follow. They care about something. You know how I know? Because they're standing there and they got pants on and they're facing the front. That requires a decision to opt in. That isn't laid back. That is, I'm here, I'm walking here. I'm just not trying to muscle my way to the front. And that is perfectly great. That's what armies are made of. That is how we win our battle. That is how we thrive. So, today, this afternoon, I get to go and talk to another financial institution. And tomorrow, I get to go and talk to another legal person. And after that, I get to go and have dinner with some lovely people and celebrate all the things that we have in common. That's my reward. And I have to do the thing today because I need to take that stuff with me tomorrow. And then after the tomorrow thing, I get to celebrate. That is how it works. I'm going to bring the best possible side of me to the meetings today and tomorrow, so that at the end, when I get to sit down with the people I just really love, I'm going to be able to say, okay, then, we're here, we did it. What's next? Because I have a checklist. When I accepted an obligation, when I accepted a duty, a responsibility, I said, and you can count on me. And we're almost done. All of the, oh my gosh, did you remember to do this, is almost done. And then big breath, in and out, rolling up the sleeves. Now then, where were we? That's my week this week. I have another cool thing on Thursday that I'll tell you about after, during the video. I'll tell you about that I'm doing after the video. It's going to be really fun. And then Friday, I'm cleaning up. I'm cleaning up the apartment because on Saturday, I've invited and some brave people. I cannot imagine what they're thinking. I've invited some brave people to come and have dinner with me, which means I don't know what's wrong with them. I'll know what's wrong with them on Sunday, but I don't know what's wrong with them now. So it's going to be a busy week. And the weather here in my tiny corner of the world is a little up and down, but then such is the nature of nature. So between now and Thursday, when we are back together, um, be good to you. Thank you, Charles. Me too. Be good to you. Be good to you on your down days and be good to you on your up days. And when you see your people having their own wave actions going on, ask them if they need any help. Can I toss you a life jacket? I got some cheerleader pom-poms. I can urge you on from the side. Just let me know. That's what friends are for. Laid back doesn't mean not here. Laid back means you don't know where I am. And are you curious enough to find out? Cool idea, isn't it? I think so. Certainly solved my puzzle, that's for sure. So be good to you. You deserve it. Hug your loved ones. Check in on them. We're going into the darker gray times. And as Freddie just said, he's looking forward to the 200th video, and that's going to be on Thursday. 200 videos in the midst of everything going on. 200 videos. You have committed to it. I've committed to it. And here we are. It's incredible. All right. There are no words to tell you how awesome it is that you're part of this with me. Really, there aren't. So happy birthday, Freddie. Happy birthday to everybody. Happy celebration of everything, you guys, whatever it is you're going to be celebrating today and this week. And I will catch you on Thursday. Well, thank you, Patrick. It's nice to see you pop in at the end.